what do we have here?
How you doing, officer?
Why don't you tell me how I'm doing?
I'm okay. I mean, considering the circumstances.
You ever hear a shut ya?
Shut your eyes.
Shut your mouth.
Yep.
What? Ever hear a quit ya? Quit ya bitchin'.
Welcome everybody, it's J Brad here, and today we are starting the next portion of the Star Wars reaction series, this time with the Disney sequels with Star Wars The Force Awakens. This is episode 7 of the Skywalker saga, obviously not counting the last two movies that we saw, Rogue One and Solo the Betweequels. We are going to be going into the direct sequels from Return of the Jedi. Now, I have heard a lot of very negative things about these films from fans and non-fans alike, but even though I have had a lot of the movies spoiled myself, and even though I may have had a lot of opinions sort of influence how I'm going in, I still feel that it's important that I actually watch the movies rather than just go off on those opinions without forming any genuine ones of my own. And you folks get to see that happen in real time. So without further ado, here we go. Long time ago, but not as long ago. Now obviously, while this part is muted, you still get to see the visual, which I presume hasn't changed because why fix what isn't broken? The Force Awakens. Luke Skywalker has vanished. In his absence, the sinister First Order has risen from the ashes of the Empire and will not rest until Skywalker, the Last Jedi, that's the movie after this one, has been destroyed. With the support of the Republic, General Leia Organa, that's her last name, leads a brave resistance. She is desperate to find her brother Luke and gain his help in restoring peace and justice to the galaxy. Leia has sent her most daring pilot on a secret mission to Jakku, where an old ally has discovered a clue to Luke's whereabouts. So we already have a bit of a snafu in regards to the plot. I'm guessing this is the First Order, this new organization or syndicate or corporation or whatever it is. How exactly did they arise in place of the Empire? Of course, this is that little beach ball robot that is in all of the toys, because that's basically all it's good for. It's a toy. Oh shit, that guy was in Game of Thrones. So it's R2-D2, but it dances.
You have to hide.
You have to leave. Go.
That was a lot of rack focusing in one short span of time. So as was mentioned in previous reactions to the Betweequels, now that we have better technology and bigger budgets, they are able to do a lot of stuff without the need for green screen. And I mentioned this before in my movie about bad fantasy movies, how J.J. Abrams deliberately made a point to have as many practical effects as physically possible, simply so that it could make the universe feel a lot more believable and grounded, rather than just have everything be CGI and essentially make it a cartoon. Now, with all the hype surrounding this new movie coming out, I'd assume that it was fairly easy to get the budget necessary.
You take this. It's safer with you than it is with me. You get as far away from here as you can.
So this is exactly like Princess Leia and R2-D2 in A New Hope. Ooh, wow. Now we can tell them apart from all the other ones. So this is starting to play out kind of like a war movie, insofar as we're seeing him kind of freak out about the chaos that is ensuing all around him and the carnage. That's pretty interesting, I suppose. Ooh, he's got a shoulder pad. And the other one has a shoulder pad, but It's not red. Okay, so here's Kylo Ren. He's our main villain, our main antagonist. So if I remember correctly, this character's name is Poe. And he's kind of, sorta the Han Solo of the series or something like that.
Sir, the villagers.
A female stormtrooper. I really don't know how to feel about that. Aww, sad. Sad stormtrooper. Sad robot. Okay, so they're the same ships as before. Same loading bay as before. Okay, so here's the main character, sort of.
And who gave you permission to remove that helmet?
I'm sorry, Captain.
So they're not allowed to take their helmets off, makes sense. De-individualize people. And speaking of, we are now going to introduce the most individual character so far in the Star Wars franchise, Rey, whom I've heard is a complete and total Mary Sue. I actually want to know who that shiny stormtrooper was, the stormtrooper lady, because this is my first time seeing female stormtroopers. Also, she had a shiny and chrome armor with a cape, so what's the deal with that? So once again, we're on a desert planet. I'm already getting the same types of vibes that I got from Tatooine. So why not just make this planet Tatooine? Nice shot there. Okay, so she's waiting for something. Ooh, a muffin. She wants to go into space. Well, a girl has a right to dream. There are endless possibilities stretched out before her.
Your antenna's bent.
God, don't you just hate it when you're walking around in public and then you don't realize until you get home that your antenna was bent the whole time? And you think, oh God, how many people saw my bent antenna? Ah, we got a torture scene coming up. Now, we got to see a little bit of this in the Episode 3 Siege of Mandalore cut, where they use some force power to force information out of people. I'm guessing it's causing some pressure or something like that in their heads that's making them feel mighty uncomfortable.
I know all about waiting. For my family. They'll be back.
Ah,
One day.
character time. Okay, so she doesn't have her parents or whatever. Kind of like Luke. Also like Anakin.
Come on.
She's getting attached to it. They only had one guard for this super duper important prisoner.
Why are you helping me?
Because it's the right thing to do.
You need a pilot.
I need a pilot.
Yeah, I was about to say, you mean to tell me the stormtrooper's like, it's the right thing to do. I mean, that's not a knock against Finn or anything, but it would seem fairly unbelievable that a stormtrooper, whom I presume has been participating in this stormtrooper program for a long time, would just suddenly be like, you know what? The Resistance are the good guys.
This is very complicated.
No, it's okay, Finn. Go into game options or camera options, and then you just invert the Y-axis and you're fine. And he's just shooting all of his fellow soldiers. Well, at least it happened in the beginning of the movie.
What's your name? FN2187.
F... what?
That's the only name they ever gave me.
Well, I ain't using it. FN, huh? Finn, I'm gonna call you Finn, is that alright?
My dog is named Finn.
They're taking out our turbo lasers.
Turbo lasers.
No prior signs of nonconformity.
Oh, look at his little baby photos. Oh, how cute. The infamous shot of him. Huh. I wonder if those stormtrooper outfits are fireproof. They don't seem to be bothering him too much, so I'm guessing yes. So we just learned two things. One, the stormtroopers are programmed since birth, or they're raised since childhood. So I can only wonder how on earth they're able to procure all of these children. Secondly, I'm guessing that this guy, Redhead, and Kylo Ren are rivals of some sort, because if Kylo Ren was on the same level as Darth Vader in terms of rank, there's no way they would even think to question him like that. Now, I've heard plenty of people talk about Rey being a Mary Sue, and they often use that shot of her beating people up, but I didn't know that the people actually did get the drop on her and did manage to contain her and get a couple of hits on her first before she landed a couple of hits on them. So that added context does help a little bit. Zap!
I'd appreciate it if you stopped accusing me.
Zap!
I didn't make it.
Oh, sad robot.
So you're with the Resistance?
Obviously.
No, Finn. If you tell them that you're with the Resistance, then they'll just keep tasing and detaining you because you keep resisting. Stop resisting and they won't tase you.
Apparently he has a map that leads to Luke Skywalker, and everyone's after it.
Luke Skywalker. I thought he was a myth.
What do you mean a myth? Doesn't this movie take place only like 30 years or something after the last movie?
They're shooting at both of us.
They saw you with me. You're marked.
Well, thanks for that.
Hey, I'm not the one who chased you down with a stick.
He has a point. He has a really good point.
The garbage will do.
I'm sorry, but the fact that it's the Millennium Falcon is just stupid to me. If this were Tatooine, I would understand. But since this is just like a completely random planet that we know nothing about, it just seems really, really convenient that the Millennium Falcon is right here. Also, why didn't the TIE fighters just shoot every ship in the lot? Weren't they following them as they were running? That's why they were able to know to blow up that one cruiser or whatever, and they just saw them run into the Millennium Falcon. And yeah, now they didn't shoot the Millennium Falcon? Like, what the fuck was that about? Also, it clearly isn't garbage, seeing as how it's still flying. Who are they? Are they friends?
Are we really doing this?
Yeah, I was kind of about to ask the same thing. She seems unusually good at flying this ship. Also, is Finn's role in this movie just going to be the black sidekick who yells, "Woo!" and "Now that's what I'm talking about"?
I don't know. I've flown some ships, but I've never left the planet. You're like...
So she has flown ships, something that would have been nice to know early in the movie. Meanwhile...
Sir, we were unable to acquire the droid on Jakku. It escaped capture aboard a stolen Carillion YT model freighter. It had help.
You're gonna get force choked.
Helped in the escape.
Wow. What if... So this is gonna be Han Solo and Chewie. Yep, there they are.
This is a Millennium Falcon. You're Han Solo.
I used to be.
Oh, we're going to be doing this bit.
This is a ship that made the Kessel Run in 14 parsecs.
12.
So that's a sequelism, because before I was using the term prequelism, but now it's a sequelism, where a sequel to a movie references all of the things in the past movies that ended up becoming the most memorable and iconic and makes jokes about them.
Game is old. There's no one in the galaxy left for you to swindle. That BB.
So Han Solo went from being a celebrated, mythologized war hero to just being a smuggler? But why though? What could have possibly happened that would have made Han Solo just throw that sort of life away? I mean, I was under the impression that by the end of Return of the Jedi, he had made a decision to throw the scoundrel's life behind. Classic Harrison Ford punch. Why isn't it eating him? That's a little convenient. Finn is the only one who doesn't get eaten. And this is kind of like when you're watching a monster movie or a fight with a bad guy and all the bad guy does is just pick up the hero and then throw them around instead of, you know, killing them the moment they have them. The shark from Jaws would not behave this way. You know, it just occurred to me that Chewie has a crossbow that shoots lasers. Then why is it in the shape of a crossbow? Now, clearly these bad guys have never played a video game with robots. Whenever you see the glowy part of the robot or the ship, you always aim for that part. Haven't these people played Crash Bandicoot Warped? It's just so ridiculous that they have this giant planet-sized laser. Now, what I don't get is the good guys won in episode 6, so why do they need a resistance? What are they resisting against? How did the First Order even come about? Like, there's a resistance, but they didn't resist the First Order when it came to power? I'm guessing that the resistance is a reaction to the First Order, but why didn't you just quash the First Order's attempts at gaining power? If you are in charge, why would you allow something like this giant Death Star? See, that's another problem. I think that having Kylo Ren being the son of Han Solo just feels very contrived, and once again, even though this is a sequel, it still could have its own identity separate from the first trilogy in the same way that the prequels did.
I bypassed the compressor.
So again, we've got the whole, oh, she can do anything, she just knows everything, and she's just so amazing at stuff.
He was training a new generation of Jedi. One boy, an apprentice, turned against him and destroyed it all.
So that's Kylo Ren. I feel like this is something that Luke should be explaining. What do you mean the Jedi were real? You know who Luke Skywalker is. You know who Han Solo is. This movie only takes place 30 years or so after the last movie. How do you not know this? You best start believing in fan fiction, Ms. Rey, 'cause you're in one.
I didn't know there was this much green in the whole galaxy.
Wait, so she didn't know that there could be that much green, yet she knows about these interplanetary conflicts between Luke Skywalker and the others, but at the same time she doesn't know that Jedi were real? See, if she had said, I've never seen this much green before, okay, fine.
I've been thinking about bringing on some more crew, Ray. Second mate, someone to help out, someone that can keep up with Chewie and me, appreciates the Falcon.
And I know I've only known you for like less than a day, but you're just so amazing, Ray. You're just so perfect at everything.
If you were, I'd be flattered. But I have to get home.
Jakku?
I've already been away too long.
Really? Because I got the feeling from the beginning of the movie that you wanted to get the hell out because you weren't enjoying yourself. See, now that you're off planet, you can go looking for your parents. Oh boy, another cantina. I never liked the cantina scenes. And the reason why I don't like the cantina scenes is simply because they're very alienating. I never liked reggae. The Gundam? Hey, there's a thing. They have those Imperial walkers. Why don't they have giant mechs? You think that would make a lot of sense in something like Star Wars. Why not have mechs? You know, this seems to be a recurring thing for Star Wars where they go, you know, we can't have any Earthling racial stereotypes, so let's just project them onto alien species. Like, I kind of get this, like, wise abuela vibe from this alien. Like a wise indigenous old lady. Or Asian, I guess. Because that's kind of like a trope too, like the very sassy, spunky, old, exotic woman.
What about BB-8? We're not done yet. We have to get him back to your base.
What about your parents? Don't you want to find your parents? Like, did we just completely forget about that plot point?
On my first battle, I made a choice.
That was his first battle. See, I would have liked to have seen the training and everything that Finn went through. I think that would have been very, very interesting. I do hope they explore this a bit in the future movies, but I'm not holding my breath. Okay, so this is definitely going to be a flashback to her past. And of course you have to go down into the basement to see the crazy vision. Aw, poor droid, it's having difficulty going downstairs because it's a ball. How's it going to get up the stairs? Wow, the door just opened. She didn't even have to push a button or anything. Now, Luke Skywalker's lightsaber is in that box, which is, again, very convenient. So she's having a vision of some kind. There's R2, and there's Kylo. Well, thank goodness she just happened to be there when the vision ended.
That lightsaber was Luke's, and his father's before him, and now...
How did you know that she touched it? You were over there.
I see your eyes.
I see your eyes, and they look like buttholes. Like you have butthole eyes.
I don't want any part of this.
You don't want any part of this, because up until now it seemed like you very much wanted a part of this. Quite a change of heart, really.